looking at the second session of Unit 6. And in the second session of Unit 6, we will be looking at the sources of curriculum change and innovation. My name is Patrick Eji. Now, by the end of this session, you should be able to list at least 4 sources of curriculum change and innovation and explain how each factor identified can necessitate change in a physics curriculum. Now, we know several factors account for the changes and innovations in the curriculum. And changes and innovations in the curriculum can be necessitated by changes in society, changes in central government policies, changes made by other stakeholders of education, and technological advancements. Now let's look at how these factors identified bring about changes in the curriculum. Changes in society. We all know that society is not static. Society is dynamic, as we know that culture of a society is dynamic, and so is the society. It means the way of life of society, their way of doing things with time changes. And so the curriculum must also change to meet the current needs of the society. And changes are also continuously occurring in society. And the changes in society can be political, it can be economic, social, environmental, or cultural in nature. And these changes will impact either positively, whilst others will impact negatively on the society. So the political factors, the economic factors, the social, the environmental, these factors can either positively or negatively impact society. And so, curriculum must also change in response to the kind of changes that take place in the society. So, any kind of change, being it environmental, being it economic, being it social, that occurs in the society, the curriculum must also change to meet the changes that has taken place in the society. And we can say that curriculum change and innovation is a product of the changes in society. So when a curriculum is designed, we saw earlier in previous sessions that the curriculum is always designed with the needs and aspirations of the society in mind. And so anytime we are designing curriculum, it is to serve the needs of the society. And so the changes that we see in the curriculum are as a result of the changes that are being seen in the society. Now let's look at how the central government also bring about changes in the curriculum. And we know that the government have their own ideas about the kind of changes they want to make in the educational system. And policy decisions taken by government about education can affect the curriculum, so that when the government wants to adopt new ways of teaching concepts, then we must know that these new ways of teaching the concepts in the physics curriculum will also require that a change in the physics curriculum is done. And so the curriculum must then change as a result of the government policy on education. We know in most African countries, including Ghana, curriculum change and innovation does not occur until the central government decides to adopt a new idea. So currently you realize that in our basic schools, we want to move to a new era where they do what we call the Common Core program at the junior high school. And when you look at the idea behind the Common Core program, you realize that students, when they even enter the first year in the senior high school, they are supposed to take the same subjects. Then when they are entering the second year, they will now branch into the various elective areas. That is, if you want to do science, you want to do general arts, you want to do government. So in Ghana, our education is funded by the government, and so every year during the annual budget reading, there is a certain amount that is allocated to the education ministry to run the education sector of the nation. And so the central government has a major say in what changes and innovations that must occur in the curriculum. Since they do the funding, it means somebody cannot be in his or her room and just wake up one day and say, no, we want to change the curriculum. Unless the government who funds all the activities of the education sector tries to bring out a new idea, and that new idea will now warrant us to bring or make changes in the present curriculum. Now, other stakeholders. Now, the driving force for curriculum change and innovation can also occur from other bodies and organizations that have a stake in education. And bodies and organizations such as Association of Ghana Industries, Ghana Employers Association, Ghana Science Association, Teacher Associations, all these bodies can make suggestions on which change and innovation must occur in the curriculum. Now note that students or learners who come out of our educational system are fed into the various industries. And so the Ghana Employer Association can come out and say that we need this caliber of personnel into our services or to provide services for us. And so, because they need that caliber of students, we must ensure that these changes are also effected in the curriculum so that at the end of the day, what the employer looks out for in the various employees are being seen so that our students do not come out of the system and become unemployed because the skills that they have cannot, or the skills that they have are not accessible. They cannot be used in some of the industries that will require their services. We know in the centralized system of education, curriculum designing is also decentralized. And we saw that the decentralized, normally this is done where a state would design their own curriculum to meet their needs. And so in the decentralized, we know that local authorities and communities take the initiative and are involved in curriculum designing. And so any problems that they identify at the local level will lead to changes in the existing curriculum to address these challenges or these problems. And in this case, the stakeholders will be the schools, the community members, the district assemblies, traditional authorities, PTA. Once they identify a problem, these bodies will suggest that due to these problems, we suggest these changes are made in the curriculum so that these needs of the society can be addressed. Now let's look at technological advancements and how it brings about changes in the curriculum. And when a new technology is introduced, the curriculum must also change as a response to it. And so with the introduction of ICT, this will also mean that our teaching learning strategies must be technologically inclined. Teachers must be able to, use some technology, PowerPoint presentations, simulations, and Excel for taking students' records. So you see, because of technology will also change the ways in which we do things. And so we must ensure that these changes in technology are also factored into the curriculum designing, and this will also bring changes in the curriculum that is being used. Now, in modern physics laboratories, for instance, we use computers to carry out the experiments. We use computers to take out data. We use computers to generate the information that we need. Sometimes you enter into the physics laboratory and you are not going to see tangible objects. The only things you'll be seeing will be computer, and you're going to do all your experiments with the computers that are being provided. So we have computer simulations and modeling as digital electronics, fiber optics, laser. These were topics which some years ago were not in the physics syllabus. But currently, you find out that all these topics are introduced into the physics syllabus because fiber optics and laser are now, their applications are many in the present world in which we find ourselves. And these changes in the curriculum are due to the advances that are being made in science and technology. Now, students, we have discussed the sources of curriculum change and innovation, and we saw that the sources of curriculum change and innovation are changes in society, changes in central government policies, changes from other stakeholders, and technological advancements. Now, as we end the session, how is the central government a source of curriculum change and innovation? Let's find an answer to this and present our answers in the next session. Thank you for your time and thank you for joining this session. Bye.